In case you were wondering why I haven't been posting any videos, this is the reason. Yes, I'm recording, so there'll be a video for this. For now, enjoy the video of my truck getting the new head gasket and annoying me in ways. So when I put this radiator in here, which is a nice radiator, I had some issues trying to get both fans on it. Ended up running the second fan outside, which I did not want to do, but it works good, keeps it cool, other than the blown head gasket. So that's what we're doing on this. We're gonna pull the head, take a look. Hopefully it's still flat. If not, we'll get it fixed and then get this back together because I need it. I miss it. Get this battery out of here. Heave. Okay, got that out of there. Ooh. Isolators. I pulled the grill off also just to protect that because those are getting hard to come by. Next is the intake. This is my idle air feed. I can get it out of it. Oy. That's out. We need some cutters. Get this off. So more of the efforts I put in here. I tried the radiator probe style, which did not work. And I tried in the middle of the hose style, which also did not work, and then I just put it on a switch, so it's gonna actually get moved to controlled by the fuel pump is my plan. So we'll get into that when we get into that. All right, I'm gonna get a few things out of the way. Need this out of the way, need this out of the way. Need to drain some coolant and disconnect the exhaust down there at the V-band. So I'm going to do all that and then I'll bring you back when we get into starting to take the other stuff off of here. I really hope I don't have to break into my power steering. I can't remember. I don't think I do. I think I can pull the pump and put it up here. I'll bring you back when I get to that stuff. But yeah, I want to get these ancillaries out of the way. I got stuff out of the way. Air filter's gone. Disconnected the V-band. Got the cross brace out. Got the belts off. That one's still installed, but I gotta uninstall some other stuff first. Right now I can't get this throttle cable off. So this is a 720 throttle cable, and this is an 8990 240SX intake. This I believe is for automatic, and I don't need that, so we're gonna get rid of this right there. We'll clean that up somehow, probably follow it, because right now I can't get it out of here. I mean, I can, but we don't need that there. We'll get rid of it. Anyway, I'm gonna get this rest of the way out, and then that'll be part of what we do when we get in here, because yeah, this will be much easier without that in the way. Okay, this is for me, and maybe somebody else will appreciate it, but this hose that was going to the air intake, I don't know if you can see that down there, but it goes, this is your idle air valve intake tube. So this tube goes back there to your idle control valve, and that's your idle air. That's why you want to have the throttle body completely closed when you set your idle, because that's the air intake. It's coming from this hose that was plugged into the intake tube. So it's getting air pre-math to set the idle. And the other hose here is coming off, and it's going around to vent here. This is the vent tube for the valve cover. So they both go to the same tube, which is not ideal. So I'm going to remedy that, I think, while I have this apart, and weld some tubes to, or maybe put some fittings on the intake tube, yeah, the little yellow, or the little aluminum intake tube section that I have here. I don't know, I probably should weld a new intake completely, but I'm not trying to get that deep into this. I got other stuff I gotta do. There's my highly modified tensioner bracket to get that power steering pump as close to the block as possible, which after all of that, I still couldn't get the electric fan in there. So anyway, now I run a really shorter belt. I don't recall which PCV style I'm running, but I think it's the truck style because it's on the whatever they call it down there, the crank vent, and then it runs up here to the intake, where I think the 240, this is actually the PCV valve, and it runs from somewhere else, but I don't know. Whatever you do, don't connect it up wrong, because you'll blow your rear main seal. Ask me how I know. Anyway, I gotta finish. I got the wirings pulled here. I need to pull the rail, upper intake. I wanted to mention that about the PCV because I'm about to unhook that. And I think I can just kind of tuck the fuel rail out of the way and then pull this off, and I'll have good access to the intake. And then from there it's getting the intake off, and then the exhaust off, valve cover off, and then we're into the head. So not too bad so far. So under here you can see that tube runs all the way back around to your idle air control valve, which is this guy. Alright, I got down to the intake, so I'm just going to leave this rail on here and then pull the intake off and try and leave, because there's some hoses connected to the heater that go to the intake. So I'm going to see if I can hopefully just pull this over here and kind of wedge it down there and move to the head. Man, all this stuff was clean, not whatever. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, all right. I think I can get to. Can I get to all of them? I think there's two in the bottom. Like it's just all right. slight change of plan. I'm not sure if you can even see anything down here, but the one hose connected to the heater is bolted onto the intake there, so I'm going to unbolt that. I should probably get a light. When you're taking apart aluminum things that you want to continue to seal, I should typically take them apart in a slow manner. What I mean by slow manner is just crack each bolt loose until you get them all loose, and you want to go in a circular pattern, like start here, there, then here, then there, then there, then there, and then the bottom ones. Although, saying that, probably the bottom ones before these last top ones, and that way it's just hanging on these top ones, and then we can pull this off. So that's what we're gonna do. Crack it loose. 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 Alright, back. So there isn't one underneath at the back. So I really just need to get this one cracked loose. There we go. And then crack them a little bit more. We're going to do the exhaust the same way. I'll save you that one. I'm just going to take this one all the way off now. That way loose. Oh, that's way easier. You know, I forgot to set this top dead center, but I don't need to do that right. Oh, look, it's almost there. I'll do that when we get the valve cover off, and I can make sure the timing chain looks right before we plug it. Theoretically, this should come off somewhat easily because I already had it apart once. I mean, recently. So, alright, let's crap the rest of these out of here. All the bolts in my Jeep. So yeah. Okay, I'm gonna get a magnet and pull those out, and then edit out all this blank space. I remember put this back where it goes. Go find my other one. It's not where it's supposed to be. I pulled that hose off the bottom, so hopefully that won't hold me up. Hey! Here's a hose connected still. Oh, I forgot about that one. Right there. Easy enough. I forgot about that guy. That little U-belt. Or U-hose. Finally got some coolant coming out. Yeah, maybe? No? It's wet anyway. Yep, there it is. Oh. Yay, was some coolant in there. Alright, now maybe this will come off. here. And I'll get some rags. Cover that up. But there's my head on this side next to the exhaust. And that's on that side. So my oil wasn't super contaminated yet, but you can see that there's some definite moisture in this thing. That's water right there. I don't know, can you see that? Yeah, that shows up. Yeah, that's water. So anything that looks like that spackly water, definitely water mixed in there. So I'm gonna take and set this to top dead center, and then we're going to pull off this rocker assembly. And when you do that, there's this sequence here you want to follow. Same with the head. I'm going to get to putting this at top dead center, and I'll bring it back and we'll take the rocker assembly off and the cam and all that stuff. Definitely close to top dead center. Top dead center this is number 1 down here at the bottom. We're pointing at the bottom. It's pretty close. I just gotta rotate the crank just a little bit, and it'll be a TDC. And we can carry on removing hardware. Carrying on. You can actually see the mark up here for a change. Maybe you can. Boom! Look at that. Right where we need to be. Cool. Now I need to block this. Hopefully my tool fits down there after Alright, I need to be back. Alright. Set the top dead center. Top dead center, there's my dot. It pretty much lines up that link with this face. The key is pointing straight up. And we are now going to pull this. I am going to think about this before I pull this. Sometimes you just make a tool. We don't want to turn it now. There we go. Pretty good. Loud noises. Hey, put that tool in the Datsun tool drawer. So, my buddy made this. Well, it's for L series. And this is almost an L series. So let's see. Oh no! I want that to happen. That's what we did not want to have happen. Why doesn't this one fit? Probably because it's for an L series. And we're back. I whacked it in there a little bit. And I am hoping I can get this sprocket out of here. Let's get this chain set over that. wish I could get it in there more. Okay, I feel a little better about this. I stuck a zip tie on here. It's pulling itself tight around this, so hopefully it won't self-eject when I try and bring the head off of here. I can only hope. Alright, now I need to get these bolts off the front. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And actually, nope. Now I gotta get the cam off. So let's do those. Outside. Alright. Starting in the back. This one. And then this one. Let's soak up this oil before we dump it all over the ground. Don't forget all 4 of these. I like to take them out first so I don't forget them. Alright, we're back. We're gonna go get this thing out of here now. Turn back here. 2 or 3 steps. Quick turn. And 1, 2, 3. Stop moving. bolts accounted for. We're up. Let's hold it. Oh, I need to get rid of the dipstick. You dipstick. And lift. Oh, this gasket looks horrible. I don't know what's going on here, but it looks like it doesn't seal the water. The water disintegrates the gasket. So that's cool. So I cleared this surface, and what you want to do is take a nice straight edge, and then you want to check to see if any light passes underneath there. And then you want to check it in cross pattern a couple times this way, you know, here and there, everywhere. Give it some test checks, and then no light, should be good, which we're good. So we're gonna go clean up the block and then put this puppy back on there and hopefully be good again. For sure. Hopefully. I hope. All gasket surfaces clean. Intake, exhaust, and head. Everything is clean over here. Using this rag to soak some of the coolant out of the engine so that it won't be water and everything when I go to put the head on here. Intake's all cleaned up, ready to go. Block's all cleaned up. Timing cover's cleaned up. I need to find some right stuff to go in the little corner there. But yeah, ready to go back together. This is the head gasket kit I got that I saw recommended online. And it still has those little holes and not these holes. So I don't know what the deal is with that. But I don't have much choice. So, and then I got some of these. Will hopefully help. That's the part number there. So yeah, we're gonna get this thing put back together, and hopefully my woes are at least done with this thing anyway. Okay, we've done all the things, all of these things. I have other things to do, but done all of those things. So the next thing, according to the ARP studs, is to put these in first, finger tight, which is good because that'll help guide past this thing. I need to chase the threads on that one. Okay, I need this zip tie up there. Both. We'll go around this way. This is purely temporary. Get this hose on the way. Got some of this stuff. Hopefully this is plenty okay for this little bit.
I'll be back.
Okay. There it goes. Q-tip works really good for cleaning out this spot on the head where it's spot face for the washer. Works pretty good. Alright, I only have enough time really to just do the head torquing here. So all the instructions are pretty clear in this ARP kit. So follow those, and then it says to use the standard torque specs, or torque progression, I should say. So it'll be 2258, and then instead of what the last thing is, it's to 70 foot-pounds. So we'll do the 2258 and then 70. So that's how we'll do that in this sequence, which is that sequence. So it says to lube all this stuff, so we're going to do that right away. So the way this stuff works, you want a little bit on both sides, because you want the washer to be able to spin and the nut to be able to spin on the stud, and the stud to typically not move. There's one. And then you do also the nuts, also get lube all on the threads, and that way the torque spec is exactly what they say it's going to be. And so while it's near what stock is, it's going to be a higher torque due to this lube according to the instructions. So we'll see about that. 22 times 12 is 160 inch-pounds. Hey, that's better. Alright, that's 2. 48 foot-pounds. Oh, there we go. 1, 2, 3. All right. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Call it 70. All right, we're done today. Next day. So I got the cam set in here, got some assembly lube all over it, and gonna put the caps on, and then hopefully I can get the rocker assemblies back on pretty easily, and the cam sprocket, and will be the iffy bit. I believe these are all numbered. Number 3. Number 4. There's an arrow pointing forward. Let's see what number on this one. Oh, this is the back one. It's 55, so it goes in the back. And number 1. Should have had a thing, but it never found that. I don't know why it doesn't have it, but it does not. Need to turn this back a little. So I need this to be pointing straight up. You can assume this pen and that arrow should line up. That's what I'm assuming. I should have marked whichever one of those that was. Alright, then we got the exhaust side. Probably should put that in the correct way. Yeah, that was right. That was right. time for lunch. Now we're doing the rocker bolts according to this here chart, to a specific spec, which I'm not sure what that is yet. think that's on there. It's lined up. That's lined up. It's all lined up. 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 Oh, I gotta tighten that now to a spec I'm not sure of. Found the torque spec for the rocker assembly. It is 30 foot-pounds. So now we're snug. I'm just going to double check. Sweet. Let's see. changed my mind. I'm gonna go ahead and put the intake on. Yes, he's only used these this time because they look like they could have probably used it last time. And next time, I hope is a long time. So this time, I'm gonna put some of that on there. All right, and away we go. These are 15 foot-pounds, which is 15 times 12 is 180 inch-pounds. So they're not very tight, but just tight enough, okay? Alright, snug that one with the wrench. Click. Mostly back together now. I got the header installed same way as the intake, you know, torque to spec, 15 foot-pounds, circular pattern, same with the intake tube. And got all my belts installed, got a few more bits, some wiring to plug in and some hoses, and then it'll be ready to fire, and hopefully it runs. We'll see. That's how we do it here. There was a bit of water in there, so pretty glad I did that. Anyway, we're going to finish changing that and doing stuff up top, and then we can hopefully fire it off. Topping off fluids here, and it occurs to me, if you don't know, there's this little steam port right here. There's this little steam port right here. It has a little nut, or has this little bolt in it, and when you fill up the radiator, eventually coolant will come out of there, and that's when you know the block is full. There it goes. Look at that. Alright. Are you seeing it? Did you get to see it? I didn't see it. And then you just put that back in there. Oh, you just throw that down there. Then you just stick that in there. Oh, hey, it's already starting to dry up there. Tight. Now I can start filling the rest of the radiator up till that's done, and then put my overflow in, and we'll be done with that bit. We are all together now. I think everything's plugged in except for my coil. I'll get some oil pressure first. We got some oil pressure. At least I hope we did. The light didn't go off. Or on, rather. Things I know that I ignore because I don't know. Anyway, I should have rotated the whole thing over a few times to make sure that everything was lined up correctly, because it is not. We got, I don't know if this will show up here, but I'm using my little endoscope to look at the timing mark, because it's buried in there now. But we're on 0, and our lobes are both pointing down. On both of the lobes are both pointing down on both valves, so that means we're on number 1. Although it really won't matter, because as long as we're at TDC on 1 or 3, then this should be lined up with that, which it's not. We're like 1 tooth off. So this should be vertical, and it's just clocked just a little bit that way. So I got to rotate the gear 1 tooth. So I'm going to get into that now, and then we'll be hopefully good to go. And then Powerland, here we come next 2 weeks from now. All right. Got my tool I made. Be using that. Listen. Maybe. Oh, too far. Dang it. Well, now that's in the right spot. I could use one of these for a KA, buddy. Shoo. Try not to drop this chain or this gear. So That'd be great if I did either one of those things. I should have grabbed a zip tie. Please stay. Okay. And so we need that dot pointing right at the top of the head, like this surface. And right now it is like tooth off, so hopefully I think I'm gonna be able to, but it'd be nice if I could turn this. Cut that down. We'll see how that works. I can get a turn. Oh. It's turning. That's got to be close. All right. Now I'm gonna put my thing back down there and make sure the chain's on. So it looks like we're on down there, which is great. And I got this turned the way it needs to be turned, which is also good. Now I need to get this onto that. In the right spot. Ooh, where's my bolt? Great. I got my magnet now. Ha! Oh. Oh. Let's not do that again, okay? Oh, I think we got it started. Oh, thank God for that. Whew. Right, that's snug. Now we're gonna rotate. Okay, cool. So now this dot's lined up with this surface, and that is straight up and down. And my timing mark is on the dot. And so now we'll do the 360 rotation, and hopefully that dot lines up. Oh, yes. All right. Okay, time to see if I fixed anything. After deciding not to set this thing on fire, I did a compression test. Checked out awesome. I got a closer look, and this guy is broken. Probably installer error. So I got a new one. There we go. We're gonna put that in here and see if that fixes the last little issue, and we can have our truck back. Idling here and there. I don't know if it's relearning or what, but I'm gonna have to go take it for a drive, see how it does, run some errands, whatnot.